apply in 15 places and get 9 interviews than apply in 100 places and get those same 9 interviews. Do you understand? So one of the things we are going to be seeing here is that you need to do focused work when it comes to your CV. You need to be intentional about your applications. You need to be intentional about the quality of your CV, and not just that, oh, I have my CV, I'm making applications, right? Because to get into that select few, trust me, they are filtering out so many people. So how do you make that final selection? That's one of the things we're going to be seeing today. And one, your CV is your marketing tool, which is the first understanding I think we need to have. And why? Because it is basically you are selling yourself. Do you understand? You are not submitting your CV. You are actually selling yourself. You are not just giving them, oh, this is my CV, look at me. You are actually telling them, I am the right person, right? So it's the marketing tool. You need to think about it in that light, that this is me trying to sell myself to someone. So the person that's going to be looking at this CV is saying, I'm sold, I'm bought. This is the person. So now, what are the basic things? The basics. And we'll go into this in detail. Think like the employer. That's the first thing. And what do we mean by think like the employer? Many young people are sending out CVs based on who they are or based on their history. Yes, the definition of a CV is more like your history, your professional history, what you've done over the years. But when you are now sending that CV to an employer, your history has to match what the employer is looking for. So you have to think like the employer. What is this employer looking for? 2, it must be relevant. You've worked in 7 different places. You've worked in accounting. You've worked in marketing. You've worked in sales. You've worked in engineering. You've worked in maintenance. And you want to submit a CV for a role in, let's say, business development. What part of your experience is relevant to that role? And that's one thing, one mistake I think people make. And I used to tell people, you cannot sit down in 1 hour and make a good CV. It's almost impossible. My CV, let me not even go so much, but I can say I've spent an average of 15 hours. And that 15 hours was not once, just on that singular document. So some people sit down and they quickly draft the CV. That CV will not get you the job you're looking for most of the time. So you need to know that there's a lot of focused work to do, because we'll start seeing how there's a lot of thinking that goes into the CV. You don't just say, oh, I did this, write it there. I did this, write it there. I did this, write it there. There's a lot of thinking. Remember the word, thinking, that goes into coming up with a good CV. It has to be flexible, especially when you are going to be using the CV for a few multiple applications. Flexible also means that an employer wants to employ you, but employers are looking for added value. And I'll explain what I mean by added value. If you see an employer saying they want to employ someone to a sales position, trust me, if you have core sales skills, you qualify, right? But if they see someone that has sales, direct sales, also has marketing experience, also has sales and business development is related, and also has some maybe experience in that industry, right? They will probably prefer that person because of the exposure. You understand? So you don't necessarily have to be. I've been part of, I think, a team that was hiring for someone, and they saw a CV and said, oh, we cannot pick this person for this role, but we think this person will be good for this other role. Do you understand? So, and you should not confuse being focused with being flexible. When we say be focused, your CV should match the employer. Being flexible means that you should add added value, even beyond what you are trying to apply for, right? So you have the basic skills, you qualify, but you should have other things that make you more qualified. Do you understand? Beyond the average that is being asked for. Also, layout, design. There are different kinds of designs, and we'll see a few examples because we're going to do a number of examples. You see some people with structures that are outdated, that would not work in this age. Language, and I say this a lot, every industry has its buzzwords. In law, they have their terms. In marketing and communication, they have their terms. In consulting, they have their terms. They have case studies, they have clients in different industries. So one thing you want to do is to make sure that while reading your CV, they see that this person talks like us. Do you understand? This person uses our language. This person is part of us. Do we get that? That's what we are saying when we're talking about language. Spelling and grammar errors is a turn off. We don't have to spend so much time on that. Gaps and idle time. We should talk about this. So I finished school in I'm taking an example here. Let's say I finished school in 2012, and I had not gotten a corporate job or a full-time job in between 2012 and 2015 or 2016, and I'm sending in a CV. You must have an answer for that idle time, because no employer wants to employ someone who has not been active. Do you understand? So we'll see how we can answer the question of idle time. It has to be genuine. It has to be based on research, and it has to be contemporary. That's basic. So now let's go into the details. First of all, headings or titles. So you can have so many headings on your CV. The things I've written here is not compulsory. It's not compulsory you have everything, right? But you'd see which ones you have, or which parts of these headings you want to put in your CV. So we have name, we have career summary, yes, career summary. We have work experience or employment history. We have education and qualifications. We have key skills. We have professional training or professional development. We have publications. Have you written articles? We have awards and honors. We have interests, hobbies, and we have references. So mind you, you don't have to have all these parts in your CV, but we'll tell you the ones that are most important. Then if you have relevant things to put in the other parts, then you can put them in your CV. But also remember, there is no one size fits all. There's no perfect structure for a CV. That's why we said the first thing is that you are selling yourself to the employer. So you can see a CV that looks very nice and say, oh, this is the accurate structure for a CV. If you don't follow this structure, your CV is wrong. Not necessarily. Remember that the goal first is to sell yourself to the employer. And we'll get to other ways you can sell yourself quickly, because that time is also important in selling yourself. Now, next slide. Okay, good. What qualifies you? That's the first question. So you want to apply for a job. You are thinking of preparing your CV. You have to ask yourself, what qualifies me for this job? And there are so many things. One is your work experience and skills. So I've worked here. I've gained the basic skills I need for this role, right? I've worked in social place. I've delivered these results. I've worked here. I was able to do this. Usually, that's the first thing employers are looking for. The person has experience in this. The person has done this before. And there's a reason they are looking for that. The second thing, we'll get to that, the reason. The second thing is academic background. And usually for job seekers or entry-level roles, that may be what qualifies you. The fact that you study this, right? That's another thing. And we are saying these things in the light of how you are going to convince your employer that you are the right person, which means you're working on your CV. The next thing is research and experience. Research experience or success. So I've worked on this project, or I've done a lot of research into this. I have attended a lot of programs in this area, which means I'm knowledgeable about that area. Do you understand? You may not have so much experience, because some people want to get into some industries and they don't have the experience, or they don't even have maybe the academic background. That does not mean you are disqualified. So start looking in this direction: research experience, research success, practical work, laboratory work, training, conferences that you have attended in that area. There's a way you can use that to prove that you're qualified. Also, interest and achievements. Though this is more useful probably in your cover letter, right? Because you cannot really say an employer should employ you simply based on interest. But when we get to cover letter, you see how you can use interest and achievement to sell yourself to the employer. So now, let's go to CV layout. How long should this? So many questions around that. Actually, for an average school leaver or somebody with 2 to 3 years of experience, I would say your CV should not be more than 2 pages. Why? There's not really so much you have done if you are sincere with yourself. And I'll show you why some CVs, when we go to the examples, you will see why some CVs are 3 pages and still useless. So actually, most of the experience you have in your first 3 to 5 years can enter a well-structured 2-page CV. You understand? So if you are an entry, sorry, you may have some background noise because I'm outside because of lights. So just don't bother. So it should be no more than 2 pages. There are different kinds of CVs. Most of us will use a chronological CV. So for some roles, for some kind of roles, maybe for some creative roles, for some high-tech roles, they may not use the chronological CV where they're talking about their background. They are basically talking about the projects they've done. But we don't go so much into that right now because most of us will be using a chronological CV, which talks about, oh, this is my experience, this is what I've done. Then there are templates. So what about templates? Some platforms online give you different templates for CVs. Should I use this template? Should I not use it? I would not say yes, and I'll not say no. Why? Some of these templates help you structure it or give your CV some part, gives your CV some kind of nice structure, but not necessarily, doesn't necessarily mean it helps. Some of them are good, some of them are not good. Just know the basic principles. You are selling yourself. Should I use colors? Advisably, no. Except you are going for a very creative role and they want to see how you use colors, something that is related to that. But out of that, please leave colors out because why are you using colors? Do you understand? It's not, you are not in the fine art class, you're not applying for. So that's basic. Now let's go to examples. So look at this. You can see the structure. And I'll give you a few examples. It says clear headings. You can see clearly education. You can see the person's details. Now, this is just for example of structure. Remember, this is talking about a layout. We're not saying this is how your CV should look. But this gives us so many things. It says there are clear headings. There is you can easily read it. You can know, oh, this person is talking about education here. The dates are clear. You can see sections are clearly differentiated, right? You know this is education. You know that is work experience. There is plenty white space. So this is just like an example of the layout of the CV. Now, this is a different layout. If you look at the one on our right, on my right, you can see it talks about professional profile, right? That's the word that is used here. It talks about core skills and achievements. It talks about education. It talks about work experience. You can see a clear structure. You understand? As opposed to the one on the other side. I'm not saying the one on the other side is bad, but like you won't get some information directly just by looking at the CV. Do you understand? So there's a way your CV should pass information quickly because the people who are hiring don't have time. And that is what some job seekers don't realize. You are trying to get into a company. While they are trying to hire, they have things they are doing. They are busy. Then you send them a CV that will take time to understand. You are not going to get that. So, which is one key thing you need to realize. Your CV should pass the message quickly. Do you understand? So, and that structure helps recruiters know, oh, this is who this person is. This is what this person is about. This is the person's course. These are the core skills this person has. These are the core experience. Because at times, what they do is, oh, it's a popular company. They've made, that was before them. That was before when most applications were paper. 100 people have submitted CVs or 200 people. They'll just take the CVs, look at it. 5 seconds, 7 seconds. If they don't see anything relevant, the CV goes into the trash, right? So, if you are sending this kind of CV on the left, most likely you will not have gotten the offers you've been looking for, right? So this is another example. This talked about this is more like a resume. Though in Nigeria we don't differentiate. So let me leave that out. But you can see that this is a one-page CV. Do you understand? This person has been able to put all the person's experience. So you see that you can have a one-page CV. All the person's relevant experience, skills, awards and interest, language, additional experience in one page. So this is a one-page CV, which means that a one-page CV is possible if you are not putting all the fluff and irrelevant things people put in CVs these days. Very concise information, still well structured, very clear sections. All those things are applied in this CV. Now, we've talked about required sections. Okay, yes. So let's go to this. Required sections in your CV. Name. And I usually say this, your name is the most prominent thing on your CV. You see some people sending CVs and the title is curriculum vitae. Like everybody looking at that document knows this is a CV. So what is curriculum vitae? Your name should be the most prominent thing because it is selling you. The first thing oh, this CV was an amazing CV. This is the name of this person. Remember, your name must be ringing in the head of that recruiter. Oh, I remember that CV, that guy. Do you understand? So your name must be very prominent. Professional headline. What roles are you looking at? What's your career path? What's that headline you want, right? For me, it was youth development professional for a long time, right? That was my headline, youth development professional. So you need to know what is my line. What are the things I want to do? And you sell yourself fast. Do you understand? Usually, your current. So for people who are in a particular role, you are in a company. If you are not, because there are different ways. You may be in a company and there's a title that's given to you, and that's your like career line. So you can put that as your headline. Personal and contact details, email, phone number, address. Those are the things we'll say is mandatory. When we go to examples, we'll see the fluff and the unnecessary things people put. Things like marital status, things like gender, things like specific date of birth. And I'll tell you why these things are not advisable. In Nigeria, there are no discrimination laws. Like there's no law that says an employer should should not discriminate based on gender or based on state of origin. You can be disqualified. You may have all the qualification, but because you put I am from Abeokuta North, and the recruiter has a wife or an husband that is from Abeokuta North who has been frustrating him or her, but because you want to sell yourself, you go and put I'm from Abeokuta North. Seeing that thing, the person is your idea a turn off because the person has an experience that from people in that area that you understand. So it's just the basic things that qualify you for the job that you need. If age was not a determinant, please don't put your age because it may disqualify you if it was not a requirement. Do you understand? So there are some things that are optional. If the employer specifically asks for it, put it there. If it is not necessary, if they didn't ask for it, please leave it out. Do you understand? Nationality. Your name is Owolabi Afolabi Joshua, and you are putting nationality Nigeria. Like it's clear you are Nigerian. You are wasting space. Do you understand? So some people put so many unnecessary things in their CV. Let's just talk about that. We don't have so much time, and I hope we can do this in shorter time. So key experiences, outstanding achievements, career goals. So for me, my CV, I used to put successful projects. It's not in a conventional CV, but there's a reason I put it there, right? And I can say there's something in particular I applied for, and I know it was a successful project that got me the application. It was not a regular job. It was an organization like a fellowship or something. Do you understand? So remember, you need to think like the person who is making this decision, what is the person looking for? If it's something around project management, if it's something around, they may want to see what are the projects you've worked on that was successful, right? And what did you do? How did you go about it? So you need to think like the employer in applying all these things we're talking about. Let me go a little bit further. Personal details, I think we've talked about that. Good. So these are examples. And we'll see how graduates, all the CVs here, where I actually put some of these examples in the curriculum, and they are all from graduates. So you will not see their personal details because it was edited, but this was the CV of a graduate, and this is more than half of the CV. The person puts personal details at the end, at the top. The first thing on that CV was personal details. Now, contact address. Look, postal address. In this day and age, who needs postal address? But there are graduates walking around in the streets of Lagos or wherever that have postal address on their CVs, right? Phone numbers, phone notes. Do you understand? So this is not an example to follow. Person now put his name, objective. Let's not go into all this, but this is like not an example to follow. Do you understand? Person put local government, marital status, like at your age. Anyway, let's not go into all that. Edo not local government. This is not an example to follow, right? Let's go to another example. So see this, another one, contact address, like you are writing a letter. And these are all graduates working, applying for jobs. See contact address, email, phone number. The person puts curriculum vitae at the top. Don't worry, the name is not the name of the person, so don't look for the person anywhere. You won't find the person. Do you understand? So these are examples we may not want to follow. So these are some other examples that I think we can follow. See this. Be with me, Akadapo. You understand? The person put the name clearly, first thing, prominent, put address, email, and phone number. And when it comes to address, some things you may not want to put your specific address first, because at times you may not be sure about the job you're applying for. So you may not want to sell yourself. So for example, if I'm putting my address, I'll put where I stay. I'll put Shonbari Estate. I will not put the house number. And I'm not saying you should not put it. I just put that for some security reasons or some other things. You don't have to put specific, but they just need to know, oh, this person is here. For example, if I'm applying for a job in Akwa Ibom and I'm in Lagos, do you think I'll put Akwa Ibom, I'll put Lagos as my address? For me, may not be advisable because I may not have the chance to tell the employer that I am willing to relocate. So if I have an address where I can't stay in Akwa Ibom or where I don't mind staying, I can put that address there, right? Because, oh, okay, this person is close by. Because you can be discriminated simply because, oh, this person is far away. This person will start telling this person to come and stuff. Do you get? So that's why I say when you are preparing to apply for a job, there's a lot of thinking that goes into it. You are not just writing your CV, you are targeting the job. So there's a lot of thinking that goes into it. Do you understand? So these are examples we can follow, right? In terms of, and this is like the first thing that should be on your CV. Do you get? Now, so work experience. This is the bad example. You can see the X there. See this person, top team multi-purpose furniture. Just put the name of the company. Do not put what you were doing there. Do not put. Do you understand? Some people do this, and these are CVs of graduates. Do you understand? This is not an example to follow. So we're losing time. So I'm going to be faster. Professional experience. So this is an example, and we'll break it down. We see intern. Do you understand? This person has work experience. It is a clearly demarcated section. Intern at so place. Do you understand? The person put the date at this time so that you can easily know, okay, this person was here from this time to this time. And see the flow from the most recent to the least recent. Do you understand? Some people will start with the job they first did. No, it is your most important, your most recent engagement. And that's what you are doing presently. That's what the employer wants to see first. So this was most likely a student CV or someone who's just graduating. Do you understand? So the person put that spring intern, Goldman Sachs London, customer assistant. Do you understand? The details, what you were able to do. Develop a revised long-term strategy. Research and presented results. And look at something here. The person is using action words. So when we talk about CVs, you will see some people write CVs and say, I did so and so. That is so, what's the word? For me, it's like the person is telling me to throw the CV away. I did. No. They are action verbs, actually, to show skills, to show leadership, to show, oh, I was able to do this. If you see the CV, most of the description there starts with an action verb. Developed this, researched on this, supervised this, managed this. Do you get? So these are key things we need to look at. And those things are telling. I used to say you should imply skills in your CV, not by saying, oh, I have this skill. But when they look at your work experience, they should see that this person actually did this. You understand? So which means this person has this skill. Because some people will just go online and download skills and put it on their CV. If I read the CV, I just know that this person is lying. Do you get? Or that this person copied it from somewhere. So there's a way you imply the skills you have in the description of what you've done in the roles you've served. Do we get? So that's and that way you can show, oh, I've done this, I have this skill. Use action verbs that send a message. Positive language. Do you understand? Not just any language. Remember, we talked about buzzwords. So if you were describing what you did in a consulting role, trust me, if you don't use the language of consulting, I would see it that this person is lying, or this person just got this thing somewhere, or this person. Do you understand? So there's a way you just need to have the language of that industry. And some of them, there are ways you can get it online. If you've not immersed yourself so much in that space, you can get some of these things online. You just need to do a lot of reading or relating with people in that space. Do you understand? In IMC, I remember I worked for a boss in the consulting company who was from the he's worked a lot in the newspaper communication. So there are some things he says and I don't understand. We'll talk about folio line, and I'll be like, what's folio line? We'll be saying some things about when we're trying to develop like a personal report. He will talk about, do you understand? There are some words you just use. So, and they know that, oh, this person has an understanding of this industry. So, imply those things. This is another example of professional experience. Do you understand? This person talked about, oh, NYC. He was able to do this, champion this, revamp this. That shows that I can bring something that is dead to life. Do you understand? Champion this. This person can take leadership. This person can get things done. Do you understand? Do you get? Perform this, co-authored this. Do you get? So there are ways you actually send the right message indirectly. And trust me, people pick these things whether they pick it intentionally or not. There are things that convince people whether they are doing it intentionally or not. Good. This is another example. This is more like a student CV. And these are ways you can get, because I know the person who owns the CV. Most of this person's experience was as a student. So some of us say we don't have experience. There are some things you probably could have done. freelance content developer. So you may have done some things while in school that you don't see as work experience. But look, it actually counts for work experience because you did something, you got some things done. Whether I was going there 9 to 5 every day or he was working from home. Because I think probably as at maybe 3 years ago, people would never have, or 5 years ago in Nigeria, you would never have seen working from home or working as a student as work experience. But see, it counts as work experience because everything in this particular CV is from someone who did all this while in school. Do you understand? So this person sort of has, let's say, 2 to 3 years experience. Content writer for this. Do you understand? Digital marketer, freelance content developer. So some people say, oh, I don't have any experience. We'll still get to maybe discussing more of that. Skills and achievements. Combination of relevant skills that matter. So you don't bring your skill in a faraway role. Don't bring your skill in, okay, you can connect digital marketing to many things, but there are just some industries that are far away, right? You are bringing a core engineering skill and you are going to an industry that is core creative or core, just something far apart. So find the skills that are related to that role and that industry that you know you have. Don't lie, because you can, when you get caught, oh God, it's a very bad message. So skills that are related to the role, are related to the industry, and that you have. So this is still an example for extracurricular headings, and this is more of, I'll say, school leavers. Do you understand? So if you are just finishing school and you say, oh, you don't have anything to put in your CV, because I've seen some people who their CV is 75% of a page and still there's nothing there. You can say, oh, what were the things I did in school? I was secretary to this society. I was in this organization. Put it there. What were the things you were able to do? What projects did you work on? What programs did you manage, or what events did you plan, or what committee did you partake of? What were you able to do? Put it there. So that's where you can get your CV with something people can say, oh, this is the kind of person this person is. And like I said, all these headings are flexible. It's not compulsory to use these particular headings. It depends on your stage in your career, what you do and what you are selling. You understand what is most important to this recruiter? You get skills, interests, and achievements. And so we can see the one lower. Let's focus more on that. There's strategic planning and innovation, service delivery, sales reports, complex problem solving, teamwork. You have an idea of, oh, this person's industry. You can see a lot of sales, a lot of service delivery. Is that customer relation? Or do you get? So there's a way, if I look at the skills of someone, I know, oh, this is this person's line, right? So skills, interests, and achievements. Now, this is not compulsory. Remember, this was tailored more for school leavers, people who are just leaving school and are trying to get a good CV. Do you understand? So there are some activities you can get to put that just tells, oh, this person has this kind of experience. This person has this kind of skills. I think this is someone we want in our company. Do we get? Okay, so achievements. I think we've said so much on this, and we have looked at structures. So others, case studies. This is just like some other things you can put. Professional training and development. Some people have taken some professional courses, right? Whether you have started, you have not finished it, but it is relevant to this industry, or you're taking CIPM, you just finished school, you're taking CIPM and you're applying for an HR role. Don't say, oh, I've not completed it. Please put it in the CV. You understand? So they know that, oh, this person is interested in this role. This person is already building a career here. This person is already taking professional exams in this space. Publications. That's another way to get attention. So, for example, I'm trying to get into a particular industry. Let's say I'm trying to get into a finance or audit company. Let's say a finance consulting company. Or do you understand? And I did not study finance. Oh Lord, if I'm so crazy about finance, you know what I'll do? I will read books on finance. I will do book reviews. I will put it online. I will get articles or write articles around that area. I will find a way to publish it. Those things will let you know this guy does not have the experience, right? Or does not have the training, or does not have corporate experience. But look, he has written this, he has done this, he has done this. I think we should reach out to him. Do you understand? So there are other ways. There are other ways you can actually get people's attention to show that, oh, I qualify for this. Awards and honors, interest and hobbies. Do you understand? There are other ways you can actually get the attention of recruiters beyond the necessary experience. You get? Now, education and qualification. Okay. Yes, so education and qualification, and usually important for school leavers when you don't have any experience, which most times you should not be in a situation where you don't have any experience. But look, if you don't have any experience, then the most important thing or the first thing you want to put after your skills and career summary may be your education. And it starts from the most recent one. Don't start putting primary school, Ajan Lekoko grammar school. Do you understand? And I usually tell people the only reason why you should put a secondary school only maybe, and this is not a law, I'm just saying this, maybe because you want to pass a message. If I went to a very shitty secondary school, it will never show my CV. But if I went to a very prestigious secondary school, trust me, I can put it on my CV because I'm passing a message. Remember, at the end of the day, you're selling yourself. So if I know, for example, there are some recruiters I know, we are coming from a particular kind of background, they probably want to recruit you. So if I know this company, because there are some CEOs I know, if you are coming from this particular company or this particular educational background, they have affinity for such people. So I can put that information. Do you understand? But what is most important is your most recent training, usually after secondary school. Do you understand? So you did maybe a graduate degree, BSc, do you understand? Or even ND. Do you understand? All those things are relevant and you can use them. Also training. If you attended training on this, is related to that field or that role, please put it. Do you understand? Or it passes at the message. So basically, that's it. Other projects, successful projects, if you want to put projects, you can put that. Projects you've worked on, how you're able to go about it, what you did, that's fine. This is an example of publication. And good, everybody has a publication. Good. As long as you finished BSc, you wrote a project. It is called long essay. Do you understand? So if it is related to the industry you are going, please put publications, even if just one, right? Put the name of your project. So let me look for the project of this person. Good. So this is one. Look at this: rhetoric as a tool for I really don't know how this is pronounced. Do you understand? Long essay, Department of so. Unpublished student long essay. Do you understand? You have a publication. You can put it in your CV. That's a way to fill up and add relevant things to your CV. Do we get? So that's it on papers and publications. Now, CV writing tips. Okay, so we've said most of the core things. So these are just like basics. Tailor your CV to match each job advert as much as possible. Use exact keywords. So for example, good, and I say this, the password to the job you're applying for is usually in the job description. So that document, trust me, you need to study it. Because remember, we said think like the employer, right? It is the employer that designed the job description. So if you sit down with the job description and study it, you will understand the kind of person they're looking for. So you know, oh, how do I sell myself? So they're looking for the person with this kind of skills, person with this kind of background, person with this kind of experience. What have I done that is related? Or how can I paint? Or how can I paint or what's the word? Brand what I've done so that they understand that it fits or it is related. How can I connect my experience to what these guys are looking for? So, and if you're applying for a role that there was no job description, go online. You're applying for so particular role, go online and put job description for so. Do you understand? You will get examples. Please study them so that you know how to come up with a good CV. Keep it short and simple. Include relevant information, right? Clearly state your achievements, clearly, and how you achieved it if possible. If you can quantify results. Now, one thing people should know is when you state, for example, a salesperson, I grew sales from 5% to 15%, or as a result of this, turnover grew from so to so. It's tangible. So many times people write CVs and there's nothing to hold on to. You are just using English to sweet talk yourself. If there's somebody else applying for that same job and the person gives facts and statistics, I was able to achieve so amount in revenue. I was able to lead a team of so, or we're able to do you understand? Just think of the things you did. What were the numbers in terms of results? It is more tangible. Oh, the person, and it is repeatable. So you're able to do this, you can do it here. Do you understand? So numbers, figures, tangibles sell you faster or sell you better. I'm not saying it has to be there, but if it exists, put it there. spelling and grammatical errors, please run away from them. You can try to, if you are not so good with English, because there are some people that sincerely may not be good in grammar, but on the job, they know the job, they know how to do it. Please get people, one, who have your best interest at heart. Don't say the person, someone, you know, this person is very good in English, right? But the person is not your friend, or the person, you are not sure the person has your best interest. Then you go and get the person your CV. The person will kill you and tell you that this CV is perfect. Take it. Do you understand? So you may not be so good, but you have the skills. Go to somebody that knows you and is also good with grammar. Let the person go through your CV, right? Let the person help you structure it better. Let the person help you use the right words. Do you understand? Because spelling and grammatical errors could just be a turn off. So try not to be disadvantaged. Right. That's more of what we are going to be talking on CV. So with cover letters, I'm going to be very brief because time is almost up. So I think we're done with CV writing tips. Now cover letter writing tips. So why is cover letter important? Usually it's your very first, is the very first thing the employer would relate with, would see. In those days when people send, for now it's emails, send CVs, it's better you add a cover letter because they simply read the cover letter quickly and they have an idea of what kind of person this person is. You already have a good CV. If you don't have a good cover letter, the employer may not get the opportunity to read your CV. For example, 5 people have applied for a job, and they are going through the emails and they read this wonderful cover letter. They can stop there, hire that person because they've seen what they want and forget about the people who had good CVs, but their cover letter or what they sent in their email did not convince the employer. So people are busy. Remember, if you send a short, precise, good cover letter, that may be what will just get the interest of the employer, and they look at this person, the perfect fit, get the job. There may be people with better CVs, but the employer never got the opportunity to read their CV. So that's why your cover letter is a step ahead. It takes you a step ahead. And when you're applying for jobs these days, especially when in the pandemic, nobody is going to offices to drop CVs. You're most likely sending an email. That short body of the email, don't just attach your CV. Say, oh, I'm applying for so role. Please find attach my CV. Send. That's shit. I have other things to do. But if you send a very good cover letter, convincing cover letter, this is who I am. I'm so passionate about this. I've learned this. I think I'm going to add this value to your company. I'll be interested, right? So I may want to, oh, this person looks amazing. Let me see the person's CV. So that's the role, the work of your cover letter is to get the employer to your CV. And which means your CV actually has to also be convincing. So you don't write a very nice cover letter and they get to your CV and they are disappointed, right? So the role of your cover letter is to sell you faster and to give you a good position in the mind of the employer. So your cover letter has to be on point. Now, for us to understand the purpose of the cover letter, I think I've said it, is basically to get you a foot in the door. It's basically to get the employer interested in you, interested in what is this person about? This person writes so amazingly. And basically, writing is a skill almost any employer wants, because in this day and age, if you are able to sell yourself well in writing, it's a core skill. Do you understand? So if you just writing a very nice cover letter, usually for an entry level role, may just get you the job, right? Identify and avoid common mistakes. So that's basically it. So now, like we said, your cover letter is your opening act. It's like this is me. Do you understand? This is who I am. So that's why it's very important. As long as you are able to submit, as long as you have the opportunity of submitting one, please do. It shows that this person has gone a step further, right? It's your opening act. It shows how serious you are. It expands and brings to life your resume. And when I was talking earlier, I said when you're talking about passions, skills, or interest, you may not be able to expand on it so much in your CV. But if what you are selling to an employer is basically your passion, that you're passionate about something and you so much want that role, the cover letter is the perfect space to sell that, to sell yourself in that way, because it brings to life your resume. It says, oh, I did this and this in this way, and I'm going to do it for you. Your cover letter is that opportunity to tell the employer what you will do. Remember, your CV is your life history. It is what you have done. Your cover letter is telling the employer what you will do. Good. So that's basically what your cover letter is about. And basically, in terms of structure, now, like I've said earlier, there is no hard and fast rule. There is no one size fits all. There is no particular fixed way of writing a cover letter. But basically, you should have about 3-4 paragraphs. And we'll talk about those 4. But before you write a cover letter, what should you know? You should know this cover letter has to be clear. There's clarity. There's precision. I know about this company, or I know about this industry. If you don't have that information, then you are probably not going to write a good cover letter. So what position am I applying for? To what company? What position? You need to know. You need to be clear on that, because especially when you are applying to a company that is applying for recruiting for multiple roles. Do you understand? You need to know, I should be writing for, I'm applying for so and so role. Do you understand? Not that, I'm applying to work in your company. I've seen people write cover letters, like very shitty cover letters. I want to work in I want to work in your company. In what role? As what? What skills are you bringing to board that will make me bring you into the company? Do you get? So who are you? Do you understand? You need to understand yourself, because it's not every company you can work at the end of the day. It's not every culture you fit into. Are you qualified? Why are you qualified? What qualifies you? We've talked about that earlier. So what's your personal experience? What information about the company you have? How can you synergize or bring these things together to sell yourself? So questions to ask. I think we've done that. So good structure. So basically, paragraph 1. So this is, I'm giving you like a structure you can use, because some people have issues with writing. How do they write a cover letter? So if you have that issue, you can use this structure. It's not like a rule, but it can help you. First paragraph is, who are you? I believe everybody knows basic letter writing, so I'm not going to tell you about address. Write also address, put it on this side, left side of, look, we've all done basic writing, so you know about all that. Then also, who do you address the letter to? As much as possible, before I go into all the details, if you know the name of the person that is hiring, if you're applying to, let's say, marketing units, there are two possible people that could be applying, the head of the unit or the HR. Do you understand? If you know their names, please address your letter to the person who is applying. Dear so, right? For example, in Jobberman, if you want to work with the youth engagement team, right, and you are writing us a cover letter, you can address it to the head youth engagement and learning, which is Dear Precious Ajono, right? Ajono, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it well, but that's it. So if you're applying to what role, there are some roles that is the HR that will hire. You can, if you know the name of the HR, you can address it to Dear so. But if you don't know, it's fine to put Dear hiring manager. But don't put Dear sir or madam. It may not shoot you in the leg, but it is not advisable. If someone does it better, the person may just qualify, right? So Dear hiring manager is fine. So that's basic. Now, how do you structure it? Who are you? I am so. I learned about this application. It's not compulsory, but you can put, I learned about this application so. Or in some cases you may put, I was recommended by so person to apply for this. It's possible if you are sure it's something that would help you, or something that will give you a foot in the door, right? Because there are some jobs that is based on the person that recommended you get. I've gone for an interview in Ernst & Young. Was a consulting company. That was so many years ago. I wanted to serve there, and I did the they gave me a little test, right? And I finished the test, and I knew somebody in the company, and the person told me clearly that the only way you get him, he told me clearly, I don't know, that may be as far back as some years ago, he told me clearly that the only way I'll get him is so person or somebody that they will ask me, so who brought me, or I'm coming through who. Do you understand? At that point, because it was NYSC, so I think it was not their normal recruitment. So for some companies, if you're applying, you know that, is this person that asked me to apply, and the person's name will sell me. You can put it, so I learned about this role by so and so, or so and so advised me to apply. What are you applying for? I'm applying for a role of so. Do you understand? But I'm trying to run for time. So basically, your first paragraph is saying, this is who I am, this is the role I'm applying for. Do you understand? So I'm so person, this is how I knew about the application, this is the role I'm applying for. Fine. Good. Next paragraph. Summary of you. You're talking about your experience. You are summarizing your CV in a written form. So I have my education. Look, this is not hard and fast, but this is structured for school leavers. So you talk about your background, knowledge, skills, experience. So I had my training in so with so degrees, if you want to put it. you're selling your knowledge and skills, your academic background, the training you've gone through, the skills you have, the experience you have. I have experience in doing this. I've been able to do so, and so. Do you understand? That's the second paragraph. You're letting the employer know, okay, yes, this is my name, this is who I am, this is why I'm here. Good. Then these are the skills I have, this is the experience I have, this is the training I have. Then third one, what's your magic? That's when you now convert that experience to life. You have studied the company, you know their pain points, you know why they're hiring for this role. Do you understand? You now tell them how you would get results for them. At the end of the day, employer is looking for someone that will do the job. Do you understand? That will get the job done. So how are you able going to deliver those results for them? So you connect what you have done. From my experience, from my passion, I'm sure I'll be able to do this. So there's no I cannot give you like a template, because there are different kind of roles, there are different kind of jobs. But just know that after talking about yourself, you need to tell them how you are going to get results for them. What connects you to the industry? What's your magic? What results are you bringing to me? What skills, what core skills do I need that you have that you would use to get me the results I want? Do you understand? What makes you fit? Why should you be hired? I believe I have so unique. Do you understand? Or this about my experience just makes me a perfect fit, and I believe you get everybody has their writing style also. But just know that you need to be clear and you're sending that message, right? You need to show that you have knowledge about that role, about the company, about the culture. In saying all those things, in trying to say, oh, what's your magic? How you are a perfect fit. You get? So that's basically how you do that. Then finally, you tell them, oh, I have attached my so. Or that's if you have attached the resume, or attaching this email is this. If your cover letter is the body of your email, then call to action and intent to follow up. It shows you are serious. So I would be looking forward to maybe an interview, or I would follow up if it's something you think, oh, they may not get back to you. I'll follow up by so time, maybe 2 weeks or a week. Do you understand? Then thank you. Do you understand? There are different ways of saying thank you. I don't want to go into all that details. At times, people thank people for, oh, let me not go into writing styles, right? But you can just say basic thank you. That's it. So that's more of cover letter CVs. And like we said earlier, buzzwords, use them. Fact and statistics, useful. Analyze the job description. Demonstrate activities that imply key skills. Do we get? So that will be it for today. Let me just take a few questions. If we have questions, we can take a few questions, because I know it's been a long session. This is what time? This is 7:08, so almost 1 hour. And that was really fast though. We could have taken a lot more time, but I think I tried to run through it. Yeah. So any questions? How do we go with the questions? Precious. Let me unmute you if I can, so that you can just let us know how we go.
Good day. Wow, amazing session. Your awesome dictions and all that. Sound like someone that is going to recruit me very soon.
Yeah, serious.
So very serious. But I wanted to ask the audience for their feedback. I was like, didn't actually ask anybody for their feedback. None of them have questions really, because I know CV writing, although me as an entrepreneur, I've not really written much of the CV. I think for like the last 2 years, I've not written a CV.
But those things will also apply when you are pitching.
Yeah.
You are pitching for
Well,
something, you are
I
telling a
know
proposal.
I cover what I've learned today was about my fellowship application, where I missed it.
So
Yeah.
we can have another session for that. You can have another session for that. SOPs, fellowship applications, scholarship applications. That's different. But still the same principles.
Okay, I want to ask my own question first. So you said that, okay, I want to ask a question. You said about age, gender, sex, and certain part of your addresses that they are not so necessary in CVs.
I did not say they are not so necessary. I said it is not in the requirement, then you may not bother putting it. But you can put it if you want to. For example, they want someone, some companies will tell you categorically, you must be from so age. Then you may want to put it. But now I also say this, and let me add, when you are, this is not a law, this is not a rule, I just advise people, you can do this. if you meet 70 to 80% of the requirements for a job, please apply. Why? The employer is looking for someone who can do the job. They put those requirements there because they think that is the requirement needed to get the job done, right? So if you are sure you can get the job done, despite the few ones you don't meet, please apply. Then you may just want to leave out those things. So for example, let me not give specific examples. But if you look at the requirements, you meet 70 to 80, please apply. You may just want to, so for example, it is age that is disqualifying you. You have every other thing. And they are looking for people that are 27 and above, and you are 28. Please take off your age. Apply. When you get into the interview and they say that, oh God, this person is the kind of person we're looking for. Okay. But if you put your age, that may disqualify you before they get the opportunity to meet you. Do you understand? So if it's just one little thing that disqualifies you, you may just want to take out of your CV and put every other thing. So they sit and say, oh, this person fits. Remember, your CV is to get you to the interview, right? So if you have a very good CV and it gets you to the interview, they can overlook. And I have a practical example actually for my auntie. So she was a doctor. She's worked so much in the UK, and she came back to Nigeria. She was around 50 then. She came back to Nigeria, and I think it was Lagos, University of Lagos, their teaching hospital. So they were calling for some roles for some particular doctors, like experienced people. So she applied for a particular role, but she did not meet the age. I mean, she was above the age. I think maybe they wanted people who were 50 and below or something. She was 1 year above the age. But she applied, right, for that doctor. She just came back into the country. So they did that interview. And after the interview, they asked her about her age. After the interview, and she was still in the interview, but at the end, so she told them their age, and she was first bothered, like, but she said it, and they said, actually, for the particular role. So, for example, they called for maybe 5 different roles in the hospital. They said for the particular role she applied for, that age was not a requirement. Do you understand? But she could have disqualified herself by saying, oh, I don't meet this particular age. They're looking for people that are younger, though she has all the experience, development experience coming from outside the country, so much advanced skills. I don't really know all their medicine, but at least I think she has quite a bit of experience. So she could have disqualified herself because she didn't meet the age, but she applied, she got the interview, and she got the job, right? Because she did not disqualify herself. So that's just a typical example. Any other question? If you don't have any other question, I think we're good.
Okay, sir. So can you see my messages? I think I sent you some messages.
Let me just check.
Okay. Yeah, I see that you're really working so hard on this.
It's fine. You asked if I have a gift for them. I don't necessarily have any gift. Whether it's a TV, I actually don't have any gift because my schedules I'm quite busy, so it's fine. Like, but you can reach out. So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any questions, any things you want to ask. Yeah.
Can you drop your link on the chat session, your LinkedIn links?
Just go to LinkedIn, Olaoluwa Oluwasola. You will find me. Don't worry. Just go to LinkedIn, Olaoluwa Oluwasola. You will find me. I'm not hard to find on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you trended yesterday. And by the way, guys, yesterday was his birthday. He trended on LinkedIn. Okay. I saw more than 1,000 engagements on LinkedIn.
Leave that aside. So, okay, I think we're done, right?
Asking the question. Someone say, tell us, okay.
Just one question, and we are good.
Someone is saying ways at which people can say thank you other than saying thank you. Is it on their cover letter or something?
No, please. So you can just stick to thank you. Thank you is fine. Let's leave it that way. Thank you is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you is
fine.
So
I think, does anyone have a question, please?
So if there are questions, to save time, you can just reach out to me, shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I'll get back to you. I'll reply you. I think that's fine. Yeah. So thanks for an amazing session.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for showing up. Okay, guys. Thank you all for staying true. I will do drop. I want us to do something quickly. Those of us that are live on this session that are currently live, kindly drop your email addresses. I have a gift for everyone that is present on this session. Kindly drop your email addresses on the chat session. If you have not dropped it before, we have a gift for everyone today. We have a gift for everyone. It's not available to people that register for the session, but only people that stay through this far. Yeah. So tomorrow is a very big day. We're having two foreign visitors. One is Sarah Iyamu from the US, and we have Ivan, Mr. Ivan, a UN global leader. He is actually coming from Russia. He schooled fully in England and is part of educational policies in the United Nations. So he'll be coming tomorrow live. And tomorrow I'm also going to start my session firstly by 4:30 p.m. I'll be very brief with my session. 4:30 I'll start my session tomorrow. What I mean 4:30, I mean 4:30 GMT plus 1. I believe thank you. I always like saying thank you to Gideon. Gideon always join the sessions firstly, and one Ifunaya is one of the first people that they have stayed through till over 3 hours today. Yeah. So much hunger with these people. So I have to end the session. Yes, I have to end the session right now. And it's been so I'm so happy having you all here. I think today's attendance on this session was higher than yesterday. So tomorrow we are going to reach we're going to hit it over to more than 50 because of the number of guests we are going to be having. And like I said, you get my gift tomorrow morning or this midnight. I'll send my gifts to everybody. Thank you for staying true for me. And I love you guys. You can engage on the WhatsApp group. All right, thank you all. I'll have to go now. Do have a lovely night and lovely evening. Thank you so much.